Hello, it's me again. The mirror moves. I never thought I'd be grateful for installing security cameras around my pool. They were supposed to be for peace of mind, not the starring witnesses in what our neighborhood now calls the Great HOA Cement Scandal. My name is Sarah Mitchell, and I live in Pine Grove Estates, the kind of quiet, picture-perfect suburb where the loudest drama is usually a misplaced recycling bin. But last year, our HOA president turned my backyard renovation into a headline-worthy felony case. It all began last spring when I decided my pool was overdue for an upgrade. The original 1990s design had served its time: faded tiles, outdated coping, safety features from a bygone era. After a particularly good year at my architectural firm, I had the budget to finally give it the facelift it deserved. And because I know exactly how HOA politics work, I did everything by the book. I followed every protocol in the HOA handbook, submitted detailed plans, included material samples, even created a 3D rendering to show how it would look from the street. I made sure it was tasteful, safe, and, in HOA terms, impossible to object to. The renovation was simple: new tile work, modern safety updates, and a sleek refresh to complement my backyard's landscaping. Nothing flashy, nothing controversial. At least, that's what I thought. What I didn't know then was that my careful planning had already painted a target on my back, and that Karen, our HOA president, was about to turn my dream renovation into a nightmare I'd catch on camera. Enter Karen, our HOA president, a woman who treated the title like it was a crown passed down through generations, despite the fact that her election was more of a poorly attended popularity contest at a potluck. Karen prided herself on preserving the integrity of Pine Grove Estates, which, in her interpretation, meant nothing happened unless it was her idea. And my pool renovation? Definitely not her idea. From the moment she saw my plans, her smile didn't reach her eyes. She nodded politely in front of the committee, but was already sharpening her claws. At first, it was small jabs. Are you sure those tiles are timeless? And I've heard that style of coping can be dangerous. Then it escalated. She started nitpicking the tiniest details. She claimed the color of the pool's edge might clash with the neighborhood's visual harmony. She asked for 3 additional rounds of material samples, each time pretending she'd misplaced the originals. Behind the scenes, she was whispering to neighbors about code violations that didn't exist. I heard from one friend that Karen had referred to my project as a potential hazard to property values, which is HOA speak for I just don't like it. Even after the board approved my plans, she kept finding excuses to delay. A last-minute review here, an urgent safety consultation there. It became obvious she wasn't just following procedure. She was trying to strangle my project in red tape until I gave up. But what I didn't realize at the time was that Karen wasn't going to settle for paperwork sabotage. She was already thinking about something far more concrete. It was supposed to be the final stretch of the renovation. The new tiles were in, the safety railings installed, the water line prepped for a refill. I went to bed that night, excited to see my backyard transformed. The next morning, I stepped outside with my coffee and froze. My pool wasn't a pool anymore. It was a giant gray tomb. Where there should have been sparkling blue water was now a hardened mass of rough cement, smeared up to the coping like someone had tried to bury a swimming pool alive. The sun hadn't even fully risen, but I could already smell the sharp, dusty tang of fresh concrete in the air. I didn't have to guess who did it, but I had proof anyway. I ran to my security system, rewound the footage, and there it was: Karen in full HOA battle gear, visor, polo shirt, clipboard tucked under one arm, directing 2 guys with a cement mixer like she was choreographing a performance. She stood there, arms folded, watching as they pumped my pool full of sludge. Not a shred of hesitation, not a glance over her shoulder, just pure, smug confidence that she'd won. My hands were shaking, not from fear, but from the sheer level of fury only a stunt like this can produce. Neighbors started coming out, drawn by the sound of the mixer and the sight of my pool being entombed. Some gasped, others just shook their heads like they'd seen this coming for years. Karen had finally done it. She'd stopped the renovation by committing a felony in broad daylight. The moment I saw that footage, I knew this wasn't a neighbor dispute anymore. This was criminal. I didn't bother confronting Karen myself. I called the police, emailed them the video, and within hours an officer was at my door, shaking his head in disbelief as he watched her orchestrate the cement pour like some kind of deranged construction foreman. The damage estimate was staggering, well over the felony threshold. Between the cost of removal, repairs to the pool structure, and replacing the filtration system, we were talking tens of thousands. And the beauty of it? Every penny was on record, neatly itemized, and backed up by clear video evidence. When they brought her in for questioning, Karen tried to spin it as enforcing HOA regulations. The detective shut that down fast. "Ma'am," he said, "HOA rules aren't criminal law, and they don't give you the right to destroy someone's property." News travels fast in Pine Grove Estates. By the end of the week, everyone had heard about the cement scandal. The HOA board released a statement practically tripping over itself to distance from her actions. And then the big one hit: felony criminal mischief and destruction of property. She went from strutting around the neighborhood to avoiding eye contact with anyone. Her once daily compliance checks vanished overnight. The woman who used to wave her clipboard like a royal scepter now kept her head down, walking her dog at odd hours to dodge the neighbor's stares. As for me, after months of legal wrangling, I got the green light for full restoration, funded in part by Karen herself. The first day the pool was back to its crystal clear glory, I threw a barbecue. The neighborhood showed up, kids splashing, adults laughing, everyone enjoying the backyard she tried so hard to ruin. And there I was, stretched out on a lounger, watching the sun sparkle off the water, thinking, some legends are built, others are poured. That how it end. Now, click the subscribe button for more story like this, with the mirror moves, where everything reflects something deeper.